questions have arisen, such as who is he, what is he, where did he come from, is he a creature of a foreign power, is he a creep, is he dangerous, is he smart, dumb, nice to his parents, real, put on, crazy, sane, man, woman, robot, what is this?
I'm very curious about the genesis of Moon Age Daydream. How did this project come together?
How much time? Like, seriously, I can take up the entire time answering that, or I can do an abbreviated, and I'll let you guide me which one you would prefer.
Let's go for the abbreviation.
Okay, good choice. Because I was about to start when I was 3. How did this come together? I've been working in biographical nonfiction for about 20 years. And the thing that interests me about the genre I work in is exploring my subjects in approaching them from a uniquely cinematic space. If you can put it in a book, I don't want it in my films. I want to use, most of the subjects that I pursue are very iconic, well-traveled. There's dozens of books about David Bowie. There's dozens of documentaries about Bowie. What I was interested in conjuring up was a Bowie experience. And Bowie really lends himself to this because Bowie, in quotations, is intimate, sublime, and enigmatic. And that's ultimately what I was trying to present on screen. I arrived here coming off of Montage of Heck, the Kurt Cobain film, where I just felt I'm not going to do a cradle to grave biography that's more complete than that. And creatively and artistically, I wouldn't want to. I did that. So I was looking for something different. Very Bowie-esque, a challenge, if you will, and really stepped way outside my comfort zone. When I pitched the film, I pitch it as if I'm the only person who could pull something like this off, and I was totally full of shit. I'm a very straight narrative storyteller. I don't do abstract experiences, and so when I came down to write the script, I almost immediately realized that all of the tricks that I had in my toolkit, none of them worked. And the entire time I was screening, I had in my schedule 1 week to write the script. That's all I ever put aside. It took 8 months before I can get 2 words in. And during that time, I was traumatized. I just was like, I've spent all this money just screening this film, almost exhausted the entire budget of the film at that point, except for the money we were saving for sound at the end. And somehow I had to write my way out of it. So it was a bit traumatic.
And I heard that, I'm an archive researcher by day, and I heard that the process of just going through all these unseen materials took 2 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was 2 years.
And it was a 5-year process overall?
It was essentially 7 years from the time I conceived of the IMAX music project to where we're sitting now.
So I guess over the course of 7 years, what is it like living day to day working on a project of this kind of magnitude?
Well, if you ingest Bowie into your veins for 7 years, you're probably going to be a better person at the end of it than you were when you started. So I would like to think that when you ask me what it's like like having a natural high. I mean, it's like the endorphins, are all alert, and I came into this film thinking I was going to explore the creative life of David Bowie. What I had no idea I was going to encounter was a man who would really change the course of my life, not just as an artist, but as a person, as a man. I feel that when I started this film, I was very much kind of a man-child. Hadn't really grown up yet. Early, while I was making the film, I had a heart attack, flatlined for a couple minutes, and was in a coma for a week. And that was really had to do with how out of control and imbalanced my life was. And it was at that point that I started going through his interviews. And so the message that I needed to hear, he was delivering. And at that point, I recognized that there was an opportunity to create a roadmap for how to lead a satisfying and balanced and fulfilled life during an age of chaos and fragmentation. And should I reach an early demise, I can leave this as a record for my children so that they can learn from someone far more sagacious than I am.
Yeah, wow. I think you do a brilliant job, I guess, sort of capturing the essence of what is, these real larger-than-life people. Like, in Montage of Heck, I really did not know or the fragility of Kurt Cobain, I guess, because we see him as he's kind of a figurehead for the disaffected youth. When it came to a project like this, what was the one thing you really wanted to convey about David Bowie?
When you phrase it like that, it's difficult because I didn't come into it wanting to convey anything. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know I just wanted to make an entertaining film. I think that they both serve. Both films very consciously take the echoes and the shadows and the fragments as they exist in media of these artists' lives, and in death are employing them to help us who are still here better understand our plight and our condition. And I think that there's something incredibly powerful about that legacy. In Montage of Heck, I felt that I had an opportunity, because I was provided with Final Cut and Francis emboldened me to make a film that would really destroy any illusions of glamour associated with heroin chic. And I remember getting in a huge argument with Kurt's mom, who really, and I understand as a mom why she didn't want him depicted that way. And I remember saying, Wendy, if Kurt was alive today and he was given a choice of saving one life or selling 10 million t-shirts, I think he would choose to save a life. And that was emboldening. With Bowie, I feel that he's offering us inspiration and guidance in how to improve our day-to-day life. And that is an amazing legacy. We can dance to his music, but what he's telling us in this film is so much more life-affirming and meaningful than anything I would expect to encounter from a rock god, if you will.
Because that kind of follows on to my next question, which was, during the making of the film, was there anything about him particularly that you learned that really stood out to you or took you by surprise?
I pretty much everything.
Yeah. Throughout the film, I was fascinated by Bowie's narration, specifically when he would talk about his relationship with his art and what he creates, I guess what it means to him. So I was curious, over the course of making this film, did you ever reevaluate, I guess, your relationship with your own art, what you make?
100%. As I think I was saying earlier, I had to go way outside my comfort zone to construct the film, even to the point that I had to edit myself, which I've never done. I had to produce all by myself, which I've never done. and I had to work in an office because of the pandemic by myself, which I never made a film without a staff. Creatively, so that's just practically. Creatively, I had to step way outside my comfort zone, and it changed me. The impact was when I went to the premiere. There's some footage of me at the premiere at Cannes where I'm dancing up the carpet. And I don't dance. I haven't danced since I was on the bar mitzvah circuit in '83, at all. Like, I don't. One of my producers was like, "So how long did you spend planning that?" I was like, "You thought I was sitting?" And the reason that happened spontaneously was because I just felt that whatever happened that night with the reviews and with the audience response, it didn't matter. I did the best I could. Now that's a very different feeling than when I've arrived at previous premieres. I hate premieres because you basically are subject to criticism. That's you spend all this time working by yourself, and it's all love and positivity, and then you present the work, and suddenly, like, in 3 minutes, social media is going to praise or attack or whatever the hell it is. It's awful. It's a terrible feeling. But when I arrived at the premiere of Moon Age, I just, that was it, man. And that's from Bowie. I would have never arrived at that sense, that perspective, without sort of embracing his teachings and his philosophies towards creation.
Well, it's been great talking to you. I was just wondering if, in a really brief sentence, how has your time been promoting the film in Australia?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me that. Okay, so I don't know who's running the Australian tourism campaign, but honestly, maybe they're good people or whatever, but they should probably be sacked because y'all are keeping a secret down here. I've traveled the world quite a bit, and I'd never been to Australia, and I'm here with my wife and my son, and we're absolutely blown away. We were in Melbourne for a week, and we've been in Sydney for a few days, and feel that this is you guys have figured it out. So it's like I'm in awe of your country, and I don't understand why I don't live here right now. So yeah.
All right.
Well, I've always loved Australian film and Australian music, but I had no idea. I won't say anything more because I'll sound like a total ignorance. but I'm totally in awe of what you guys have going on.
Well, don't be a stranger. Come around more often.
I'm planning
Hope
to.
to see you soon. Again, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. This is my first time doing anything like this. So.
Oh, nice. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. I think I'm going to duck across the road and get a drink and stop sweating. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You did good, man. Thank you.
Moon Age Daydream opens in Australian cinemas September 15th, so check out our review. And remember, like it, follow it, right here at Switch.